Alright, so now you got your brand new toilet in. But the question is, do you or should you caulk the bottom of the toilet where it meets the ground? In this video, we're going to go over the good points and the bad points. Pretty much, the only thing I can come up with, there's 3 good points to this. One, it helps seal the bottom of the toilet to the ground itself by putting a nice cushion all the way around it, because a toilet only has 2 anchor points. So you could get a rocky motion to it. 2 is it helps protect the wax ring or the rubber seal that you got. And 3, to me it looks good. So for the first one, it helps anchor the toilet down. What do I mean by that? Well, again, there's only 2 anchor points, one here and one on the other side. And pretty much when you're putting the silicone or the caulk down in between, because there is a slight bit gap there, that will fill the gap, the void, and actually create the cushion in between the floor and the toilet, right? So pretty much in this situation here, you probably can't tell, but the toilet does rock a hair. But the first thing that you want to do, take some shims, if you're not perfectly level out, and put some shims underneath if your toilet rocks. Pretty much, you just put them in there to make it nice and tight. And you take a razor blade, watch your floor. You can actually cut it up like that. Most important thing you want to do with the caulk that you get is make sure it's mold and mildew resistant, because there's potential for a leak in your gasket or whatever seal that you got, whether it be the wax ring or the rubber seal. The second thing here is sealing the bottom actually helps protect the seals itself. So the rocky motion in the toilet that you may have, when you put a wax ring down or a rubber gasket, it's meant to be squished and not moved. So by putting down a bead of caulk underneath, it cushions it, it fills the void, no more rocky motion, right? And then number 3, just plain and simple, to me it looks good. It makes a nice smooth flow transition right to the ground. A couple bad things here, and one of them is if you seal all the way around it, you won't know if there's a leak. When you do this, make sure that you have about a 2 or 3 inch opening or gap in the back of the toilet, in the very back there. That way, if there is a leak, water can get out. The second downfall to this is if you ever replace your toilet again, your caulk is going to be stuck to the ground, right? Well, the issue with that, not all toilets are the same. They have different designs. So, more than likely, your new toilet, if you don't get the same one, is not going to match right back up to the old caulk line that you got. Now that we have the shims underneath, the toilet is pretty solid. So let's go ahead and put a bead of caulk around it. And you might have some taller gaps to fill, so you can kind of pre-fill those if you want. And then you can go back through . And get a nice bead right around that bottom there. See, let me show you. Just a nice solid bead right around. And you can tell right here in the back. See how I started right there? And if you want, you can even take a little bit further back, but I would leave it just right there. And we're actually going to leave the back right here all open. That way water, if it does ever leak, it can get out. Let's finish up the front here. Okay. Now I want to show you what I did there. There's 2 different ways to do this. A nice smooth bead just like that you really don't have to touch. And then 2, if you go back through and mush it in and try to smooth it out. But the issue with that is you can see the spread out that it does here. So pretty much if you do that again, you just got to keep wiping it until you get rid of all that excess. If we go with a nice smooth flow, the hardest part is going to be trying to blend this back in. Like that. Just a nice bead right around the bottom. See this smudge on the side here? See, look. You'll be able to rub your finger back and forth. You'll be able to clean it up. It's real easy. It's just like Elmer's glue when you were a little kid. But pretty much, remember, make sure you stop and leave the back open. Alright guys, so that's about it. Don't be scared to attempt this one. I'm not a professional either. I just take a little bit of time and effort and you can make it look smooth. Like I said, let it set up for a day. Go back, rub your finger on it, and it'll look nice, smooth, professionally done. So if you would, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.